Welcome to Living a Healthy, Vibrant Life podcast. I'm your host, Harold Chatman. At the current moment, we're not taking any sponsors, but if you wish to support me, visit our website, hvlworld.net. We have the best flavor collagen. We have unflavored. We have peach mango, and our newest flavor, strawberry lemonade. If you struggle with skin elasticity, if you need a new supplement routine, or if you just need a new better collagen product, check us out. We also offer virtual health and life coaching services and also personal training services. Check out our website for more details. And at the current moment, we're at the Panoramic Brand Studio, best podcast studio in Houston. All right, we have a special guest with us today. She is a mother of two, a cooking specialist, a fitness enthusiast, and a current client of mine. Welcome, Julie Harris.
Hello. Wow, I've never had a podcast intro before.
I know,
it's
right?
Exciting. Never been on a podcast before.
It's official.
Yeah.
Got the cameras in here, got the lighting in here, and now we want to hear about Miss Julie.
Yes.
All right. Before we get started, people always like to know how this connection happened. So you want to tell us how we met?
Yes. So Harold, you have been my mom and stepdad's personal trainer for how long now? 7 years?
Probably about 5.
5 years?
5
okay.
years.
And then I have recently moved back to Houston. And since I've moved back, I've been doing personal training with you. So that's been about a year and a half now.
Yep.
A couple times a week.
Mm-hmm.
We work out together. I'm in the best shape of my life.
Right.
We have lots of fun conversation.
Right.
Talk about life and fitness and health and parenting and all those things. So yeah. It's been great.
You never really worked out like that before.
No, I've gone through phases in my life where I have always valued being healthy in a lot of different areas. Mm-hmm. But as far as like really intensely focusing on getting really strong and toning muscle and this is the longest I've consistently gone working out for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how has the experience been so far?
It's been great. Yeah. I mean, I feel it feels so empowering to feel strong. Mm-hmm. Especially, I'm a single mom of 2 kids. And there's a very like empowering feeling when you look good, you feel healthy. And then we also talk about in those sessions other weight, like, stress levels and sleep levels and nutrition and, focusing on having an all-encompassing healthy lifestyle. And so that's been huge in this season of my life for sure.
It is. It makes you look at more of a holistic standpoint and also to maximize the longevity of your life. Because the thing is, as you can see when you see people around you, most people are nowhere close to even doing like half of those things.
No. And
it makes your life, I wouldn't say like easy, but it makes things a little less complicated. Because that's one less thing you need to worry about is your health. Even though you can't prevent certain things, some things happen, but it lowers the risk of you catching certain aspects and also just getting sick a lot,
Yeah, and just being able to enjoy things too, like in the present, like it helps you in your future and in the present moment be able to like kind of live life to its fullest, right, essentially.
So as we like change topics, I always want to talk about like your cooking because
my cooking thing that I do.
So when did that become a thing? Like, did your mom always cook, or did you something you picked up in the past, or what?
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of like home cooked meals growing up, but it's definitely become my own thing as I've become an adult, and it's gone through so many phases. And it's like kind of this little like passion project hobby thing of mine that, I think, early in my 20s, let's say, I started to find great pockets of like community and friends, and then sharing a meal together that would last for like hours. And, I'd start to really just appreciate that level of food, how it brings people together, and it can bring you in like the present moment and people enjoying something together. And then I lived in Portland, Oregon for a lot of my 20s, and I got really into nutrition there. And I also worked in like the hospitality industry. And so I got really into like going to farmers markets and getting excited about what was in season and, just like the energy that was in the air of like, oh, it's, tomatoes are here. And everything would be like you have these gorgeous, all the restaurants would have like these gorgeous tomatoes that would just taste so fresh. And that was like a big excitement of mine. And then, I kind of got more into cooking. Like every time I would go to the farmer's market, I would try to get something that maybe I didn't know what to do with, like a piece of meat that I've never tried to cook before, or like a vegetable that I hadn't worked with before. And then I got pregnant with my son, who's now 5, and nutrition became a huge focus, wanting to like really nourish my body as I was pregnant. And so thinking about food and that, then it kind of shifted to more of that to then the nutrition aspect of it, like trying to incorporate these really nutrient dense foods and like bone broth and organ meats and really just nutrient dense vegetables and things like that. So and then that was a big focus. And then feeding my children, like I've just so enjoyed cooking for them. And then now that I'm recently divorced and then moved back to Houston, and that's been its own healing process. And then, cooking has also kind of really carried me through that. And like, it's been very healing in this time of such transition to be able to spend time, with myself and like learn new methods and like get better at things that I want to cook well. It's a long answer, I guess. So I think it's just, and then I've gotten have had some really cool opportunities to cook for, like some really cool events.
Are there one in California?
Oregon.
Oh, Oregon.
Oregon, and then Italy too. I cooked.
Oh, wow. Oh yeah, you did that for the whole summer.
Yeah. This last summer I was in Italy. It's kind of another long story.
How did that opportunity happen? Like,
okay. So
that's how you know you're good at something, when people will question things and want you to help out.
Exactly. This is a cool story. But there's this school called, shout out, Village Forest School. It's amazing. And it's in Italy. And I found out about this school probably when I was about pregnant with Rowan. So I think on Instagram, somehow I found it through a rabbit trail. And they just do incredible things. So this school it's this outdoor forest school. There's no Wi-Fi on the property.
Damn.
Yeah, it's they have like all the materials that the buildings are made out of are like from the land, and one of the founders of the school is a biological interior designer, so they think about things like EMFs and 5G and mold, and just they're built in these like beautiful ways to sustain an incredible environment for kids growing up. And it's on a vineyard, and the kids learn to like make pesto, and for their meals that I would see them like post that they would eat would be like wild boar stew and foraged vegetables and things like that. So I would see them post all the time, and I would be like, wow, this place is amazing. I would love to send Rowan there one day. Long story short, they started a summer camp program that I sent Rowan to 2 years ago, and I just got close with, as he was there. It was incredible going to visit the place. And I just got close with the founders, who are also incredible people. And we like follow each other on social media. And then I post some of what I cook on social media. And so, I just kept up with them. And then this last May, they asked if I would be willing to come do like a farm to table dinner as a way to raise money for the school for this last year's summer camp. So, and I decided to do it. And so, it was 4 dinners, and I got to like work with I worked with like local Italian farms and get their list of like what they had in available that week. I have to translate it from Italian to English, and then plan a menu off of it, and then figure out quantities. And I did these like 4-course.
Oh wow.
Dinners.
Pretty much being like a chef.
Yeah, pretty much a chef. I guess I'm a chef.
Yeah, pretty much.
Somehow. And it was so beautiful. And in so many ways, again, it kind of tied a lot of these, a lot of these different like phases that, again, food and cooking and nourishment and being together and being present, like it kind of combined a lot of those, because it was this dinner to support this beautiful school, and like every ingredient just about had a connection to like the land or the people or the community. And yeah, it was so empowering to be able to like serve people in that way, and to be a part of the community in that way. And it also like all these skills that I've been working on by myself in Houston as I've been going through kind of a hard season.
You're a rough patch.
Kind of a rough patch. Yeah, and like to be able to like have used all those skills that I didn't know were building towards something that ended up going towards something so beautiful.
Right.
So yeah, I did that. I forgot where the question was going.
Basically about like cooking. So
yeah.
So do you incorporate your kids with your cooking, or do you?
Oh yeah, I do. I love to. So yeah, I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and my 5-year-old Rowan, has been cooking with me for a long time now. Like I think when he was like 18 months old, he was like fully scrambling his own eggs. Like he was cracking the eggs. He would like use a spatula. He would salt it and put cheese on it. He'd like, and he'd like brown meat with me. And I've always loved to like find ways. And then my daughter, I think she doesn't cook as much as Rowan did at her age, but she still loves. I always like, I never want to like force it, but it's like, that's what they want to do. Like they want to join. I don't know. That's how my kids are, at least. It's like even more than toys. Like they've always just wanted to like be a part of whatever I'm doing. And how cool is it to be able to empower them in that way, where they get to like eat a meal knowing that they had something to do with it as as a child.
Right.
I think that's so inspiring to me to like know that they like have that kind of feeling of ownership in the family, and in making something beautiful and being successful at something. And so, yeah, I always, even though it takes extra time.
Yeah, it does. And my daughter,
extra patience.
My daughter do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I always incorporate her when I make smoothies.
Yeah.
And I incorporate her when I go to the gym with my clients. She like to copy what they doing, or.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they just soak it all up. Or even like, I'll take them to like the farmer's market and I'll be like, do you want to pick out something that you want to cook with, and we'll figure out how to cook, and we'll figure out something to cook with it. And so sometimes I'll just pick like the most, like a random vegetable, and I'm like, I would never pick that, but like let's make something with it this week. And so then they get to kind of see that process of like, oh yeah, I made an impact in the family's week. On like a subconscious level. I think that really helps empower them and
also help with their development, because it's like it's basically like you teaching them a trade.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, a skill.
Yeah, skill. You teach them a skill, and like they learn it at such of an early age. So as they get older, it becomes a lot natural for them, rather than just paying somebody else to do it for you.
Totally.
Because as you get older, you definitely want to have those skills like a trade rather than just work. Jobs are fine, but you also want to have a skill, just like, for example, outside of what you do. Like you had these 2 amazing opportunities, and basically a skill. If you didn't have these skills, it wouldn't have happened.
No, yeah, and even just being able to like, have a skill, and then, this is another thing too that I think is really beautiful, is like learning what it takes to like get good at something, and like, maybe not being good at, and seeing their progression. Like I think that's huge for them. Or even like whenever I'm cooking, like there's still meals that I make that I like bomb sometimes, or like, literally just not that long ago, I think I was making just like a cut of meat. I don't remember what it was. And it just turned out like super tough. And nobody wanted to eat it at dinner.
Of course.
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, like like I should have done, now. And so like, I'll include them in that process of like, yeah, man, like I kind of wish I would have done this differently. Maybe next time I'll try this differently. And like kind of externally processing that with them to normalize, like, hey, you have to try to get better at, like, you're not going to be great at everything for the first time, and then you just try and you get better. And then so like next time I'll like always want to show them whenever I'm trying it new again, like, hey, remember that piece of meat that was like really tough? I'm going to try it again. And like they get to just like see that and see adults trying something new, because as adults we're so used to not doing new things.
Right.
Because it sucks to fail at things.
Right. Yeah. So teaching them like the trial and error, and it's okay to keep trying until you get it right. Like showing them that, and also it's okay to fail at it. Because some kids don't do things because they know they're gonna suck at it, but it's okay to try. Like showing them at an early age.
Yeah. Because I mean, how often it's like it's hard as an adult to, like a lot of adults don't. We kind of know what we're good at, and then we can like stick to it.
Right.
And so as a kid, imagine like if everyone around you was like pretty good at everything they were doing. How little that would almost make you feel like, because they fail at stuff all the time because they're just literally new at everything,
right?
And they're having to try so many new things. And so I think that's cool too, that they're just seeing me try and fail and get better.
Right. I think that's definitely important. Teaching, I know most parents don't do it because it takes so much time. You gotta have the patience because you gotta get them.
You do have to have a lot of patience.
Yeah, they're gonna screw it up. I know sometimes at the beginning, my daughter, I used to put the fruit there to make the smoothie. She used to eat it.
Oh yeah.
I turned my back to get some out the refrigerator.
I know, 100%.
I'm like, God damn it.
I know. or like they'll be doing something, then it's like then there's a mess.
Knocked it on the floor. Knocked it over. Sorry, mommy.
I know.
Like,
I know. Oh, I have plenty of those.
I know you do, especially if you're incorporating them. But it's just really important to incorporate them on those like processes so they have an understanding of how things work in your household. Because as you get older, they can be able to take over those tasks.
Yeah.
But if you don't ever show them, they, like I always say, like when kids get a certain age, they should be able to do a good majority of some of those tasks as they get older. So make your job a little easier, especially if you're a single parent household. So not having your kids help you, I feel like it makes it harder. And the thing is, you want to make it easier. Just like the reason why I teach my daughter how to make smoothies, because I want her to make them one day.
Yeah.
That's one task.
And that's what's going to be her normal.
That is.
Like she's gonna be like, oh yeah, we make smoothies for breakfast. You know what I mean? Or like we have collagen in our water, or like that's the foundation they're growing up with.
It is. And I'm taking
or we cook meals at home. Like we don't just go out to eat all the time. Like that's going to be their normal.
Yeah, because I had a podcast somebody else with this, and we talked about similar topic, but I was telling them when you take kids to McDonald's, Burger King, Jack in the Box, and then also when they're driving in the car, they see it because it's marketed to them. And then you see it on TV, and it's like that's all they know as they get older. And that's why they fall victim of it, because they've been seeing it since they were young in the cars. Yeah. Mom and dad been driving them to it, and then they see it on TV. So it's like they're getting quadruple marketing towards it.
That's the thing too about being a parent, is it can't just be what you tell them. It's literally what you do. It's what you do. And I mean, I think about this a lot too with like screens, especially.
Oh man.
Because I'm pretty I try to really limit screen time a lot. But it's like what, and because a big value of mine is like I don't want them to ever lose the feeling of being bored and not knowing how to be bored, because when you're bored, that's when so much creativity happens. Yeah. And like they need to learn to figure out like what to do with that. And so like I'm very I'm like, yeah, absolutely. But then what do I do when I'm bored? I pick up my freaking screen. And it's like it's I can't just be wanting them to but I'm like I need to, wow, how much creativity am I losing when I just pick up this phone? It's like you can't just tell them what you want them to do, but you have to be like living it. Sure. So it keeps you on this like higher standard for yourself, or it should. But it's hard. Yeah, because they pay attention, even though because I notice sometimes my daughter, she's not looking, she's paying attention to what you're doing. It's like they have like a different type of vision. No, they see what you do. Yeah, that's very like empowering in a lot of ways if you have because if you have like bad habits or you like really screwed up as a parent, they're good mirrors. You'll see it. You can like what are you doing? Fuck, I do that shit too. Like, I know, totally. And that's one thing too, like that I think a redeeming quality about that is like let's say I'm realize that I'm with them and I'm like on my phone a lot or something, which happens way more than I'd like to admit. It's hard to, because we have so much stuff on this device. Yeah, and but that's like what they're seeing, or, you know, with anything, it's like if I mess up in front of them or if I like, you know, really impatient or whatever, it's like, yeah, I could beat myself up for that and be like, oh, like they're not, you know, they're only seeing me like on my phone. They're only doing this. But it's like there's a chance to acknowledge it and apologize and like, man, like I'm sorry that I was like on my phone when I was with you, or like,
Right.
I'm really sorry that like I lost it on you, and I, you know, I should have like found a way to like figure out how to handle my emotions better. And like, then that's normalized, and that's so cool. So it's all like, there's this beautiful side of it. Like they're also seeing someone who they see how you repair things too.
Right.
And what happens when you don't live up to your standard. And that also becomes like their narrative and their voice for how they, you know, whenever they realize they mess up, like, you know, like, oh, my mom like apologized to me, or she was easy on, she forgave herself when she messed up.
Right.
And I think that's really beautiful too.
It's a big thing. So so what things do you do for your kids to eliminate the screen time? Like what else? What do you have?
Well,
because it's such a complicated. It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, so Rowan, my son, goes to a school where they don't, like, a big part of their philosophy or their rules is no screens Monday through Friday and minimal screens on the weekends. And part of even going there, like, they wanted to make sure that, you know, parents were very much on the same page as this, which I was. But yeah, it's like, it's been a good like motivator, because I mean, it's like I could go behind their back or whatever, but I'm not going to, because I love that about the school. But
because he's gonna have his chance as he get older, because he's gonna realize how powerful the screen is.
I know. But he actually really responds. So we, like, you know, before the school, he's in kindergarten now, so before the school started, maybe like the month before, you know, it was over 100 degrees in Houston, and it's like it's like August. It was like hot, and it's like I love taking them outside, but I'm like, it's hard for me to go outside in this heat and humidity. And so so it's so easy to like like put them in front of a screen, and I'm like, I totally understand that. But he responded really well, like when I was like, hey, you know, you're going to the school, and so like there's not going to be any screens, like, you know, Monday through Friday. And he's actually been like, okay, like I don't know, he just like understood it. And then that made it easier. And there's times where he's like, oh, like, can I watch something? And I'm like, oh no, it's like a Tuesday. And he's like, oh yeah, you're like, I don't know. He's at an age where he's like, I don't know. He's not like fighting back on it a ton. And then that has made it easier for my daughter too, because then it's like, you know, I'm not putting on anything for Rowan. And so there's not, you know, just makes it easier for Pearl. But it's been really, really cool. Seeing the progression. Like, he's gotten so good at entertaining himself. Like, now when he gets home from school, he doesn't ask about it at all. Like, he will go up to his room and like find things to play with. And
I know you have a lot of board games and games and stuff.
He's a big gamer guy. We play a lot of Uno, you see that in the upstairs when you're doing Uno, the workouts.
Monopoly.
Yeah, but he's gotten really good at like even just figuring out what to do with his time. But I think that and again, like, I totally sympathize. It's not like, I don't know, it's hard. If I didn't have this like motivator, like, I think it would be a lot harder for me. Like, yeah, like over the summer, it was much easier to, you know, put something on. And also he was like at home a lot more. But I think, again, even whenever like we would put on like a movie or something for them to entertain themselves, I think the biggest thing I would say is just focus on the value of why you're doing it. Like, I don't want them to be bored. And it's okay, like, I'm putting on a screen now, like, not to, you know, make that the issue. But it's like, if I see them continue, like, every time they're bored, they're asking for a screen or a movie or a show or whatever, then kind of like realizing, okay, I need to help them, or they need to figure this out, or I might need to guide them this way. Instead of being like, oh, just no screens or yes screens, it's like, this is the value. I want them to be able to creatively entertain themselves and focus on that more than like the yes screen or no screen. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. So what make you want to bring them up that way rather than what most people do, put them in front of a screen, maybe put some education on and just keep them busy? I
mean, I think just like, I don't know. I mean, I can feel it in myself too. Like, whenever I'm in phases where I'm like on my phone a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How's my mental health doing?
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
How do I feel? How motivated am I to do things? How much more do I learn? How much more stressed out am I? You know, like seeing those effects on myself. It's like, that seems obvious. But then there's also now so many studies of like I think, don't quote me on this, but something to the effect of like China is now really
They are
harping down on their like something like no screens for 2-year-old under, which I think the American pediatrics or something, again, don't quote me on this, like they don't recommend any screens for under 2.
Right.
But I think China's like even more strict on it.
Oh, they real strict.
It's getting more, much more well known. And even, there are all these studies of even like high schoolers and links to like depression and like
it's
time on social media.
It's data on there. It's like when you think about it, it's common sense. When you see people struggling with like depression on social media, they need so much attention, validation to if they don't get a certain amount of likes.
Totally. And it's like if they start off like needing a screen, like it's only going to get
worse.
Like we didn't grow up with like, phones and iPads or any of this. But how hard is it as adults who have like fully formed brains to realize like when they need to put limits on their screens,
right?
Versus a child,
right? Because when you see like
and so many kids shows are just like so stimulating, and it's like no wonder they have like short attention spans.
I like when you be trying to get their attention. Hey, they so zoned in. They can't
it's like they're just so focused on the bright colors and and it's like versus like I mean at the school that Rowan goes to, it's like, it's they like they have it's like storytelling is like a big thing, and like doing things very slowly to keep like almost like stretch their attention span. It feels like let them like sit and simmer and like figure things out on their own, and like kind of just exercising that part of their brains versus like attention being just given to you, know?
Right. It's kind of trying to lengthen their creativity, because everybody's born with a certain creativity. Like kids, like some kids may be good at painting, some kids are good at drawing, some kids are good with their hands, like Play-Doh, stuff like that.
But they would never know if they were just like in front of. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why.
Which again, me, what am I missing? What hobbies and skills have I not figured out? Because I've been on my phone so much.
That's where the programming comes in. Where like at home, you have a certain programming with your kids until they start going to school, and then when you start going to school, they get reprogrammed to a certain way, and then if you don't spend enough time with them at home, and then they're not getting programmed a certain way, but they're spending so much time at school, depends on if they're in public school, private school, or in a creative school like your son is, then by the time they graduate, they're probably like screwed up,
Yeah, of course.
They don't have no trade. That's all they know is like screen
and they're just used to like things being fed to them.
Yeah, it is.
Given to them, and
or like, what do you call it, that?
And like then that's gonna create this like this like need to like always have expect to be fed in that way, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, it is. That's why I say most Americans social media is good to a certain extent, but it's also, I think it's more bad than it's good, because we want things instant. So it's almost
that dopamine hit.
It is. It's like a crack addiction,
meth,
crystal meth.
Yeah.
And it hits you so hard. It's like next thing you know, you've been scrolling for like an hour. You're like, fuck, I'm supposed to be doing dishes, doing laundry
100%.
right now.
I know. There's I go through phases. I mean, overall, it's like I really do appreciate, what social media is in so many ways. But there's obviously like a lot of.
I like it. I feel like it's an easy news. I can be on social media for 10 minutes, and rather than looking at the news for an hour, I figured out what's going on in the world for 10 minutes.
And you get everybody's opinion.
You get everybody's opinion on it. You can look at different stories, read different posts. You can fact check different social media. So it's like, it's good in a way if you use it for that, but it's also addicting because like they learn your habits. When you go to these explore pages, these social media engineers, they make so much money. And it's like when you go to the explore page, I like this. Next thing you know, you're on this page, then you lead to here, then now you're going down the rabbit hole.
100%. Yeah, and it's so funny. So there's like, I really appreciate social media in a lot of ways, but I feel like I've gone through quite a few phases where I have like just deleted it off my phone. Like not deleted my account. I did delete my account at one point. That I got a new one recent, the last 2 years. But yeah, I go through phases where like I'll just delete it, like almost like a social media like break, for maybe sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's for a month. I went on like a 3-month break where I just had it off my phone. And it's so funny, like how many times I just pick up my phone in that time and I just like, I hit my finger just opens the phone, hits where like the Instagram button was. And I'm like, I'm so programmed to just like, yeah. I'm like, I'm addicted.
I'm hooked.
I know. And I'm like, and then I'm realizing I have to just like sit my phone. And it's so funny because then I'm like, I'll then go to like checking my email, which like it's not like, because I feel this like need to like, I know, to get a hit from somewhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so, yeah, I think, kind of maybe back to another point in our conversation, but just, I feel like a big pressure, this area in particular, like, it's like, I realize like this is a huge area. Like I want them to see, my kids is what I'm talking about. I want to have them see healthy relationship with like a phone and social media modeled. And so I have to do that. Like I have to.
You got to teach them.
And they have to see me do it, not just like tell me or have me tell them what I think they should do.
Right.
And I'm like, that's the work. That's hard.
So what core values would you want your I don't know if it's different between the two, but what main core values you want your kids to have as they like grow up?
Good question.
Well, I'm gonna give you mine. So what you think about it?
Yeah.
So usually what I want for my daughter, I want her to understand like hard work, understand like it's okay to fail, and then understand like some grit and leadership, and just more just being open to just failing and just going after what you want. Just feel free, enjoy life, but mainly like fitness and health, because I feel like a lot of Americans, most Americans struggle with that.
Yeah.
So that's So that's why I always take it to the gym with me. So I know
she's so cute at the gym.
I know. Well, she learned early because she was doing it when she was crawling, like trying to crawl places.
I know her on the treadmill. It's just too cute.
I know. I started her on the basic treadmill, and then
she's upgraded.
Yeah, and then she scaled up to a woodway treadmill, doing it on her own. And so it didn't got so bad that usually when I'm with a client, I have to go put something on it.
You're like doing a workout with her and a work.
Yeah, so if I don't put nothing on the treadmill, she can be over there on her own.
It's amazing.
And she'll just run over there. I'll be like, what?
She's got her smoothie. She's got her
smoothie. Yeah, but the thing is just teaching her like those life skills, I call her, like learning about hard work, learning about determination, learning about some grit, and just some hustle in there, and then also learning to fail, because sometimes she'll fall, and she'll look at me. You gonna help me get me up? Nope.
Yeah.
You get your ass up. You okay?
Yeah.
So learning how to like fall and get up on her own.
Yeah. Those are great. Yeah, I think definitely, learning to fail and like figuring out what to do when that happens. I think a big value, and I think a big way of just like how I parent, I guess, is like I want them to feel like empowered individuals in their own life. Like they are in control. I mean, obviously, they're 2 and 5, but as much as they can, like realizing like their actions have consequences, they can, or like, this is just like, for example, which has probably come out of like, a lot of like therapy conversations and stuff, but, like, so, maybe sometime, like my daughter's name is Pearl, who's 2. And so like, maybe she's like hitting Rowan or like, pulling on Rowan or something. And then Rowan's like, stop. And then she keeps doing it. And then he's like, Pearl won't stop. I told her to stop. And I'm like, okay, well, at this point, you need to remove yourself from the situation, because she's communicated to you that she's not in a place to be able to listen to you right now. And so you can either keep letting her hit you, or you can just remove yourself. And like, you have the power to do that. Or you could just stay and like let her hit you and like let it escalate. But like, and also when I talk, so like I'll talk with him about that. And then I talk with Pearl, and I'm like, Pearl, like having her expect like, hey, if you don't listen to somebody, or when they're communicating their like boundary to you or whatever, then they might leave. And like, that's a consequence of what, you're doing. And like, just kind of like really teaching them. Yeah. Like, or even another like small example, like whenever I'm like in a new place with Rowan, like I'll let him navigate, like I'll pull up the maps on my phone, like I'll let him like help navigate where we're going. And even if I can tell that he's like about to take us down a wrong turn, like I'll do it. And then he like sees it like reroute or something, but just kind of like giving him so much space to like, and Pearl and in whatever, in these like smaller capacities as their children, to realize, to fail, to get better, to be empowered, to like realize the effect they have on the world, on other people, on their own lives. Like they, yeah, like if they don't, you know, or like if they don't, I don't know if that makes, I'm just rambling, but
it makes sense, because you want to make sure that going down their own path and what they want to do, rather than getting pulled from other areas, forcing them to do.
Like not feeling like a victim, I think is or not feeling like they can't do anything about their situation, like always giving them options of like, you can control your life. And if you, even so, you know, like with food, like if you're eating not great, like, you know, if he goes to like a party or something and there's like a bunch of like cake and whatever, and then he's a little crazy night and then his stomach hurts, it's like, you know, you chose to eat that, and then that's kind of how you feel now. And like, if you don't want to feel like this, then you're going to need to do something different. And like, just kind of communicating things like almost in an objective way of like, this is just what's going to happen. And you can control that. If you don't like this feeling, you are in control of your own life. Right.
So what would you say your nutritional habits?
My nutritional habits.
From breakfast all the way to dinner.
Okay, so like a day.
Like on a day-to-day, like how's your nutritional habits?
I would say, I think more about it. Okay, so there's things that I focus on daily. And then there's things that I focus more on like a weekly like basis. Like I think more of like, you know, over the course of like the week, kind of how did I do on some of these things? Right. So I think on like a daily basis, I really try to keep protein intake high. I think that's been huge. Like I feel really good when I have a lot of good protein. Right. And then I keep hydration is huge. It's like electrolytes, salt. Those are things that I think about on a daily basis. And then on like a weekly or like 2-week basis, I try to incorporate more, like just try to make sure that like over the course of like a week or 2 weeks, I've incorporated more like nutrient dense foods. So things like bone broth. And
I know you're big on that one.
Big bone, yeah. It's so easy. It makes things taste so good too, like soups and I mean, what else? I make rice a lot for the kids, and I cook it all in bone broth instead of water, so it adds just a lot of the great like protein and it's very like bioavailable, very just nutrient dense. And back in Portland, I used to like make my own bone broth a lot. I'm not quite in a phase. I have like some certain store-bought brands that I really like, but then and also if I cook like a piece of meat with bones in it, then I use those bones. But I go through phases of like how in depth I am with it. But bone broth, I like to incorporate organ meats as much as I can. That I don't always. Again, when I was like pregnant with both of my kids, I was like way more intentional about this. Now I do like a lot of just what I can. And like, you know, I try not to have this like huge, like I need to, you know, make sure I'm doing this perfect and this perfect. Organ meats, bone broth, hydration, protein. Those are some of the biggest things. And like, I definitely eat like full meals, you know, and I try to have like, I think home cooking is like the easiest way to make sure that you're eating good foods on a regular basis that are just better for you in general. Like if you can just spend more time in the kitchen, and then if you go to like a farmer's market, like those in general, those vegetables are going to have more nutrients in them. Those meats are going to have more, there's going to be like better quality for you. So I try to do that as well. That's kind of what I like am juggling on my mind. I feel like on a consistent basis.
Because you do a lot of home cooked meals at the house.
Yeah, I do.
So how do you manage your stress?
How do I manage my stress? Woo, let's see. How do I manage my stress? Focusing on what I can control.
Oh,
what
man.
I can't control. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Like focusing on what I can control and not stressing out about things I can't control. That is actually huge. On a practical basis, sleep is huge. Eating, having food to eat. Like if I can spend a little bit of time prepping a few meals, and then so I have access to those, like when I'm hungry and stuff, that helps my stress. Because it's not fun to be like, oh, I'm hungry and there's like nothing to eat, and then it's like if I cook something, it's gonna be like an hour. Like that's kind of stressful, especially when you also have little mouths to feed that are hungry all the time.
Yep.
And so I think like realizing those little things that I know Rowan and Pearl are gonna be hungry a lot, and they're gonna want snacks, and so it's like that's gonna happen. So I can either set myself up for success where I'm going to have things like ready for them and for myself, or I could let myself get in a situation where I'm stressed out because I don't have anything to give them. And then they're, except for just like, I don't know.
So pretty much making things a little easier for yourself. Like, that you don't have to stress out so much.
Yeah. Like I think being intentional and like present and knowing what's on your plate and knowing what you can do about those things to help yourself, and just kind of like, being, I don't know if that makes sense, but just kind of like being confident about saying no to things that you don't have capacity for.
Right.
So you're not taking on extra stuff and then getting stressed out about that. That's huge.
So also, how do you manage
sleep, working out, stuff like that is also good.
So how do you manage your fitness routine?
Oh, Harold, you are the fitness routine. No, I mean, in general, I try to stay moving as much as I can. Like just movement, I
remember that one time you was, I think you was in Italy, you was picking up a stroller, carrying it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. With a baby in it, you mean? Yep. Up and down stairs because there's no like elevator.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I was happy I did a lot of workouts prior to that moment.
To be able to get to that point.
Yeah. Otherwise, that would have been more stressful.
Right.
No, I mean, our workouts have been so great. Shout out personal training with Harold. I mean, so you come over to my house and 2 times a week, and we don't have that. I mean, you're just great at what you do, to be honest. But it's like I feel like I'm consistently sore. And that's it. I don't do workouts beyond you coming over, but I also just, I go on like walks with them as far as like a workout. So I think it goes to show that it doesn't actually take that much.
30 minutes.
An hour of my week, to do that. And it's not like I'm going crazy. I'm not doing anything the other days except for just minimal.
Walking around, carrying the kids.
A lot. Well, there's a lot of carrying kids, so that is something. But it doesn't take that much, but it has a huge effect on
your mood.
Yeah, my mood. My mental health, 100%.
Psychological.
My psychological health.
It just has so many benefits. That's why I always tell people it's more than just working out. It makes you feel good. You feel comfortable in your own skin. Your body's releasing endorphins, stress relief. You're lowering diseases, and also you're expanding your life. You're making your life a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, our body's like a machine. So if you're not like consistently moving that thing, just like a car, it's gonna rot.
It's gonna come back. Yeah, 100%.
It'll come back to get you. But that's one thing I enjoy about like just being healthy and just for myself, because it makes things a little bit easier. Because if you don't move, it's hard to maximize your day. Because the thing is, we're all trying to get as much as trying to be as really productive. So it's hard to do that when you're not in the best health. When you're not managing your stress, you're not eating the best, and then sooner or later, everything just come to chaos. Go to a deep depression. Your body can't perform, can't enjoy vacations because you can't move.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that point. It's not like it's too late, but it's like
you gotta start.
It's not too late, but it's like gonna be way hard. It is too late.
Right. So as we come to a close, what does a healthy, vibrant life mean to you?
Yeah. I think healthy, vibrant life has a lot to do with, for me, being really present, being intentional, figuring out what I'm saying yes to versus like, okay, so like things like screen time. It's like, I'm not saying no to screen time. I'm saying yes to like empowering them to be creative with their boredom. Or, I'm not saying like, I'm not like, oh, these are bad foods that I don't eat. It's like, I'm saying yes to these like delicious, nourishing foods and this beautiful process of a farm, a carrot that comes from like the garden to the dinner plate. Like that's such a beautiful thing and like incorporates so much beauty into my life. It's like figuring out like, I'm not saying, like working out. And it's, I'm saying yes to like feeling empowered, feeling great, feeling mentally strong, feeling physically strong.
Right.
I think figuring out what are those like really beautiful parts about your life, what are you saying yes to, and then filling your life with that and being motivated by that in every area, but especially with health and wellness. I think, not making it about this like, because the health and wellness world can be kind of, what's the right word? Like, stressful. Because it's like, you see, you could see like really like fit people like, I'm never going to be that. Or this involves like cutting down on, these foods that I love. But it's like when you're figuring out what you're saying yes to, I think that leads to a very healthy, vibrant life.
It does. But the thing is, most people look at health and wellness and fitness like taking a constipated shit.
Mm-hmm.
It is difficult. It does suck. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you're going to have to be doing it sooner or later. Either the doctor's going to tell you, or you're going to be on medication.
Don't we know it?
Or like, as you get older, you're not going to be able to enjoy life as you get older.
Yeah.
It's going to suck.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one of the biggest things I say. But as we come to a close, we got to try one of these collagens out.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So I got a secret flavor.
Oh, yay, I'm excited. I'm a huge peach mango fan.
Peach mango.
Have it all the time.
All right, I'm not going to tell you what the secret flavor is. I'm just
Okay, we have a mystery
flavor.
Mystery black container here.
Yeah, black container here.
Okay, you're hiding the name from me?
Yep, hiding the name. I want you to tell me
tell me the flavors I'm getting out of it.
Yeah. And then tell me what you think about it,
okay.
too.
Of course.
Because it's a sample flavor. We're going to see.
So when is this going to be out?
We're going to see if we're going to add it to the market. Right now, we're in the testing phase.
Okay.
There you go. We're going to see if we're going to add this to the market. Same ingredients, it's just a different flavor.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why I make different flavors is because I want to make collagen fun, rather than just putting it in your smoothie or putting it in your food.
Yeah.
Something you can take on a day-to-day. Take on what time is it? It's like a 3 o'clock today.
It already smells very familiar. Hold on. Oh, wow.
What are you tasting in there?
Definitely reminds me of coconut.
How's it taste?
Great.
What would
Incredible.
You give? Real?
Yeah.
It's pretty good for a healthy drink because the thing is we have like 5,000 milligrams of hydrolyzed fish collagen. And usually how that is that you have that fishy taste at the end. And so usually when people try it, I'll be hoping that they say something like that because usually that's what we'll be working on, the back end.
My kids would love this.
I know. Ray loves it.
Yeah.
So usually I always prefer giving my child this before I give her like 50 grams of sugar, pomegranate juice or something like that.
Oh, yeah. So. Yeah. I give my kids the peach and mango all the time.
All the time?
All the time, yeah.
So so far I got the 7th person that didn't try this, so I got 7 out of 7 thumbs up. So usually when I get like 10 out of 10, I usually go with it. So I need like 3 more.
Consider my thumbs up for this one.
All right, Julie, where can the people find you at?
The people, yeah. The people can find me at my private Instagram account. You can submit a follow. Maybe I'll accept. Just kidding. But maybe.
You're not kidding.
I'm pretty. It's the Mother Goose with 3 O's. That's my handle.
All right. So.
And maybe I'll be cooking at an event near you. We don't know what the future holds.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because some single moms may want to reach out about how you're able to have this relationship with your kids, and
Yeah.
also interested in cooking, because people tailor towards like single moms or mom of two, to like how you doing this with your kids and creating this some type of space, especially when people got like terrible kids at the house, like how you able to do this.
Yeah, 100%.
But I would definitely.
It's real out there, let me tell you.
It's definitely challenging, ain't it?
Yeah,
especially doing your own.
It is.
But I would definitely be putting Julie's information in the show notes, and also just in case if you guys need some cooking advice or if you want more information about these schools that she planned on doing with her kids. I don't think they're private schools, are they? Are they private, public schools?
They're private. Yeah.
Private, yeah. Private schools is the way, because public school going to do something to your kids.
It's crazy.
But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you guys.
See you guys on the next one.